And of course, thank you very much to our Dean Jose Mary Tirol, and Father Jomar for that talk. So as you know, this is just an additional presentation of what you have already heard from our Dean and from Father Jomar. So before anything else, I'm Attorney Dinopol, and I'm a faculty member at the University of San Agustin College of Law. Together with me, of course, it is Attorney Ricardo Escanlar, who will also be speaking to you after this. So to just start with the presentation, basically a while ago, it was already mentioned to you what you are expected and what prior to entering law school, how are you supposed to get to know yourself, if you're really fit for this, if this is really your calling, like what Father Jomer said. And for that reason, we will help you out. Some of you may not know of it now, and some of you might know it already, but we will help you out in understanding whether this is really for you. And after this talk, we hope that we are able to convince you, and of course, in convincing you to choose the University of San Agustin College of Law. Okay, so next slide, please. So like I said, what is this talk all about? If you're thinking of going to law school, then this talk is for you. If you're still unsure, if you want to become a lawyer, again, we're here to help you out. To probably, if you're listening here, you might be listening to some things that will tug in your, probably in your hearts, whether this is really a calling, whether this is really a childhood dream, may it be any of those, we are here to help you out. So if you're curious about what law school is all about, then this is also for you, for those who are just curious. And some students or some law students who are now lawyers also started out with just a curiosity. And eventually that curiosity led to a commitment, a lifelong commitment to enter law school and become lawyers. So if the answer to all of that is yes, then you're in the right place. Okay, so next. So the vision of the University of San Agustin College of Law is to continuously strive to provide quality legal education through integral formation, instruction, research, community extension, and extracurricular activities for the purpose of producing ethical, moral, and competent Augustinian legal professionals who will be leaders in their fields of endeavors. So, of course, we share the same vision also in the University of San Agustin. We have several community extension programs. We aim for a holistic understanding of what the law is. More importantly, that we produce ethical and moral, competent Augustinian lawyers. Next. So the mission is as part of a Catholic Augustinian educational institution. The mission of the College of Law is to provide each student with quality legal education and to instill in them Christian Augustinian values to guide them in their pursuit of assisting the state in the administration of justice. So again, we reiterate what our dean has said a while ago when he said that aside from the competence that we aim to inculcate and impart to our student, we also want to aim, we aim to also ensure that they have Christian Augustinian values that makes them different breed of lawyers. Okay, next. So the goal of the College of Law, the College of Law was founded in 1939. So we are now on our 83rd year of producing ethical, moral, and competent Augustinian legal professionals for the purpose of serving society and mankind. So we have been established and founded since 1939. So now on our 83rd year in serving and producing Augustinian lawyers, we will see later on what are the many achievements of the college ever since we were founded way back in 1939. So we'll get to be familiarized with the accomplishments as well as the many accolades that the college has. Okay, so we will go through that as we go along. Okay, next. Yes, so we were also considered as one of the best law schools in the country. We are the first law school to be accredited by the PASCO or in 1979. And we opened also the first ever pre-bar review classes outside of Metro Manila. So for some of you who is probably wondering what the pre-bar review classes are, these are review classes that are intended to help out students in preparation for the bar exams. So traditionally, before the pandemic happened, our bar exams are conducted before in September and then eventually November of every year. So prior to the actual bar exams in November, we conduct review classes. So most review classes are done in Metro Manila. But in 1981, we were able to do that here in San Agustin. We were also re-accredited by the PASCO and certified by the Federation of Accrediting Agencies of the Philippines, or the FAAP, in 1983. We were also awarded a certificate of recognition by the Department of Education, Culture, and Sports for its graduates' performance in the bar examinations from 1987 to 1988. So we have that certificate, and we are also authorized to graduate students without the need of special order. So that's way back from 1993. Okay, so next. In addition to that, in 1988, there was an article issued, an issue of the Philippine Daily Inquirer, which listed the college as among the country's better law schools. And I think to include, that was way back in 1988, even more now in 2022. So later on, we will see the many achievements, including the bar ratings that we have for the last 5 years or so. The article in 1988, the issue of the Panorama magazine quoted then UP College of Law Dean Bartolome Carale as saying that while the UP has a good law school, there are strong competitors such as Ateneo, San Beda, perhaps the University of San Agustin, and Iloilo. So that was way back in 1988. And we believe that we have continued to live up to the said comment that we are indeed a strong competitor if outside Metro Manila law schools. Okay, next. So I think this is, of course, one of the reasons why the University of San Agustin is a force to be reckoned with. This is the top notchers in the bar examinations since 1947. So in 1947, our first ever bar top notcher, in the name of Antonio Montelibano, he ranked third place in the 1947 bar examinations. After a few years later, in 1963, we have Wenceslao R. de la Paz, who also ranked third in the bar examinations of that year. In 1967, we also have a second placer in the bar exam, Mario L. Guarina III. In 1971, Eduardo N. Aguilion, who ranked 9th place in the said bar examination. In 1973, we have Ricardo Tichu Jr., who ranked 3rd place. In 1984, we have Dolores P. Abad, who ranked 3rd place as well. In 1986, 10th place in the said bar examination is Maria Elena G. Opinion, who later on became a RTC judge. In 1988, a 7th place, also we have Cyril R. Regalado, who is also a member of the faculty of the University of San Agustin College of Law. He is a RTC judge as well. And of course, very recently in 2016, a 4th place in the said bar examination is Aliana May A. Babayanon. So these are the numerous top notchers in the bar examinations coming from the University of San Agustin. Next. So like I said a while ago, The results of the bar examination is, of course, a manifestation of the type of education and the quality of education that we in the University of San Agustin College of Law is ensuring that our students have and this is the results of the said bar performance from 2016 until 2019. And of course, we have updated this to include the recently concluded bar examinations in February, and of course, whose results only came out a few months ago. So recognized by the LEB, or the Legal Education Board, as an outstanding law school with an outstanding law dean for having the 10th highest ranking in the collated bar examination scores from 2001 to 2010, and among the 124 law schools in the country since 2011. So this is the College of Law of the University of San Agustin performance. In 2016, the national passing percentage was 59.06%. The passing percentage of the University of San Agustin first takers is at 82.93%. And this is also the same year where we have Attorney Babayanon as fourth place. So overall ranking of USA is 83.33. Of course, we included the retaker. In 2017, the national passing percentage is at 25.55. So this is the bar examination that I took. And the first taker is at 70%. So that is the passing percentage of 2017 batch. The retakers at 19.23, and the overall passing percentage in the bar performance 2017 from the USA College of Law is at 50%. In 2018, the national passing percentage is at 22.07%, and the first takers in the University of San Agustin College of Law is at 60.42%, with retakers at 18.18%. The USA overall passing percentage is at 47.14. The national passing percentage in the 2019 bar examinations is at 27.36, and the first takers passing percentage is at 30.36, with the retakers at 42.31. The overall would be 35.15. So we have always been the overall passing percentage in the University of San Agustin College of Law is always higher than that of the national passing percentage. So next slide, we will see the results and the percentage in the recently concluded bar. Before that, we were ranked 10th place in 2017 among all law schools nationwide. In 2018, we were also 9th among all law schools in the Philippines. In 2019, we ranked 12 among all law schools in the Philippines. And of course, mind you, there are a lot of law schools in the Philippines. So we have always placed within the top 10. Okay, so next. The latest results of the University of San Agustin College of Law in the bar performance in the 2020 to 2021 bar examinations that was held last February 4 and 6, 2022. So this is the first non-traditional, we call it, bar examinations, given that this was the first time that the Supreme Court allowed the taking in a digital format. So not anymore the handwriting. And this was done in several places outside of Metro Manila. So some of our students took it here also in Iloilo at Central Philippine University. So the national passing rate is at 72.28%. Now it's coined as the best bar ever because of the said passing percentage. In the University of San Agustin, we got still higher, which is at 88.44%, or 154 new lawyers and bar passers in 2022. So the passing rate for first-timers is at 88.89, or 112 out of 126 who took it for the first time was able to pass the said examination. And for repeaters, it is at 87.23, or 41 of them out of 47 was able to hurdle the said bar exam and pass it. And on top of that, on top of the very high passing percentage, which is at 88%, we also produce 6 exemplary passers. So for the knowledge of everyone, the exemplary passers are those who have a general weighted average at 85 to 90% in the total bar rating. So we have 6 of them coming from the University of San Agustin. So these are their names: Attorney Bernas de Vinegracia, Attorney Binayas, Celis, Attorney Galinero, Attorney Ocana, and Attorney Tinambunan. So all of them are products, of course, of the University of San Agustin. Okay, next. Okay, so this one, I think it will also be okay. So just to wrap up, I will give you later on to Attorney Escanlar. What we are offering in the University of San Agustin is, of course, and the College of Juris Doctor program, which qualifies the graduates to sit for the Philippine Bar examination. So you are now qualified to take the bar, of course, after you have graduated from the program. And a candidate who passes the bar examinations complies with the 1 out of 3 requisites or requirements for admission to the Philippine Bar. So you might be wondering, what are the other 2 requirements? Because I mentioned 1 out of 3. We're still after you have passed the bar, of course, you have to take the lawyer's oath and then sign the rolls of attorney. So that's how it is. Those are the 3 requisites to becoming lawyers. So in the University of San Agustin, of course, we will be providing you with the legal education needed for you to comply with 1 out of the 3 requirements. So the JD program is comprised of perspective courses, which are subjects that provide the students with comprehensive approach to the law, core subjects which are considered indispensable to a lawyer's knowledge of the law. We also have elective courses, because in the University of San Agustin, we are for holistic learning. And of course, practicum, which requires you to practice and apply what you have learned inside the classroom to outside, and actual application of the law, and of course, legal research papers. So the JD program in the University of San Agustin will be adopting the revised model curriculum of the basic law program for academic year 2022 to 2023. So this will apply to you if you intend to enter the College of Law. So this is pursuant to the LEBMO number 24, series 2021. Okay, so next. All right. So lastly, before I turn over you to Attorney Escanlar, the graduates of the College of Law are now conferred with a Juris Doctor effective second semester of academic year 2008 to 2019. So I think we have already conferred that to our graduates way back. And of course, whether that is LLB, which is the degree program which I graduated on way back in 2017, the Augustinian legal education and values that the College of Law imparts to its students and promotes to society still remains the same. So regardless of the academic program, of course, it does not change the type of education, the quality of education that we want to impart. And it has and continues to mold generations of advocates whose legal knowledge is strengthened by their conscience, or at the very least, their common sense. Like our Dean has said, their scientia tempered with their virtues. So that would be on my end. I'll give you to Attorney Escanlar.
So, okay, good afternoon. So, I am Attorney Ricardo Escanlar III, together with Attorney Dinopol. I am also part of the faculty here at the University of San Agustin College of Law. So, I will be speaking first about the faculty members of the College of Law. So, earlier, Attorney Dinopol discussed with you the program, the law program. So the next question would be, who are the teachers who are gonna mold you and teach you into becoming Augustinian lawyers? So here are our faculty members. So you can see in that picture, some of the faculty are members of the judiciary, namely the regional trial court, also municipal trial courts, and some are considered experts in their fields. So some of them are CPAs, some of them are also doctors in the medical field. So we come from wide-ranging fields whose professional backgrounds and personal advocacies perfectly intertwine with the courses that we teach. So not only are we knowledgeable of the subject that we teach, but we also have advocacies. This is our passion, so to speak. So next slide, please. Okay, as mentioned a while ago, so members of the faculty include judges, prosecutors, public attorneys, and also include, in particular, the regional directors of the public attorney's office, who teaches constitutional law 1 and 2, and also political law. So that is in line with his field, the Bill of Rights, and that is arguably one of the more important subjects that you're going to learn here in law school. And also, director of the Commission on Human Rights, who also teaches constitutional law and other Bill of Rights related subjects. And not only them, but also we also have private practitioners who specialize in various practice areas of the law, which include but not limited to arbitration, commercial law, family law, criminal law, and also labor law. So there is quite the breadth of expertise and knowledge that we have here in the College of Law as far as our faculty members are concerned. So many members of the faculty have also earned postgraduate degrees in law and in related fields. So after taking their undergraduate course and then earning their law degree and eventually passing the bar, they did not stop there. They still went on to earn their master's degrees in law. So that's how passionate our faculty members are in learning the law. They go the extra mile in learning in order to ensure that the students also absorb and understand the lessons they need to learn in order for them to become lawyers someday. So they conduct extensive research and present papers in national and international conferences. That's something that we're gonna discuss later on. And as well as they author legal treatises, law books, and legal articles. So some of our law professors also have authored law books that we also use here in law school. So, and their professional backgrounds and interests, educational qualifications, and dedication give them a unique insight not only in the theory of the law, but also its practice. So it's not enough that although it may be said that law school is purely theoretical, academic, but we try as much as possible to ease the students into eventually becoming good lawyers in that we expose them to actual practice such as mock trials and other related activities. So, and these activities fully capacitate our students to convey the spirit, not only the spirit, but also the letter of the law. Okay. So to enumerate the expertise of the fields of our members of the faculty, 12 of our faculties already have LLM or Master of Laws, and 4 of our faculty members are regional trial court judges. 3 of our faculty members are municipal trial court judges, and 1 faculty member is an accredited international arbitrator and member of the Singapore Institute of Arbitrators, Philippine Dispute Resolution Center, and the Associate Chartered Institute of Arbitrators. So, just to give you an idea, arbitration is a rather new field of the legal profession, wherein outside the traditional litigation, parties are encouraged to arbitrate with each other. So that is something that you're gonna learn here in law school when you eventually decide to enter. So, and 6 other faculty members with other masteral degrees outside of the field of law. And 3 faculty members are certified public accountants. So they mostly teach taxation law. And 1 faculty member is a medical doctor. She teaches legal medicine, one of the subjects here in law school. And one of the faculty members is a licensed geologist. So that is yours truly. So I teach natural resources and environmental law. So, and also 1 faculty member is a doctor in public administration. So this faculty member teaches public administration law. And then, as mentioned earlier, 1 faculty member is the director of the Public Attorney's Office here in Region 6. He teaches constitutional law. And 1 faculty member also teaches constitutional law, and he's the director of the Commission on Human Rights here in Region 6. Okay. So the next feature that the College of Law has is our USA Law Library. Unfortunately, because of the pandemic, we cannot access the law library, but nonetheless, it has undergone renovations. And eventually, when we return to face-to-face classes, hopefully, you incoming students, if you decide to enter law school, will be able to access and benefit from the law school library. So it was recently renewed after its renovation. The University of San Agustin Attorney Henry T. Villegas Law Library. So Attorney Villegas is also part of our law firm. It's a very esteemed lawyer. So, and it was honored by the Supreme Court of the Philippines as a model law library on its centennial in 2001. And the law school, the law library has one of the biggest collection of legal resources in the region. In particular, if you are able to access it, you will see that there are some books which date back from the Spanish period, back in the early to late 1800s. So, which consists of not only up-to-date local, international law books and treatises, periodicals, online resources, and legal publications that, as mentioned earlier, they date from way back the Spanish period. So, not only are there very ancient books, but also we also have up-to-date books, which obviously law students need in order for them to be able to keep updated with recent jurisprudence. So these complement the audio-visual resources in each classroom. So our classrooms are equipped with projectors. So if ever, like in this one, we need to show PowerPoint presentations, then our classrooms are equipped to show these slides. So, and are invaluable teaching tools that enrich the students' learning experiences. So that is our law school library. Okay. Okay. Now, law school has perhaps a reputation for being boring or dull, stressful, but outside of the usual traditional classes, we also have extracurricular activities here in law, here in USA Law. Because again, as mentioned by the dean earlier, we try to adapt a holistic approach to learning. It's just not purely academic, not just purely by the book, but we actually have to live and breathe the teachings that we study here in law school. So while the USA Law is proud of its achievements, it is cognizant of the fact that it must also look towards the future. So in a way, we are not stuck with traditional types of learning. So we continue to try to adapt and evolve along with technology. So justice is the cornerstone of civil society, and like the study and practice of law, the protection of and promotion of justice is continuous and continuing. So we here at the College of Law recognize that it can and must do more things. If those who comprise its community, namely not just the faculty, but also the alumni, the students and also the staff are to become productive members of society through how? So how do we do that here? We continue training of competent, qualified, and dedicated persons who will provide access to justice to our countrymen. So especially right now, so this is part of our continuing adaptation, especially right now since we are not allowed to conduct face-to-face classes, we are using online tools in order for us to continue giving quality legal education to our students. So as part of our extracurricular activities, namely USA Law through the Parliament, which is the debate and moot court organization of USA Law. USA Law is one of the best moot court teams in the country. So this is our something that we hang our hat on. One of the things that make us proud. Okay. So this is a picture of the Wenceslao de la Paz moot court competition. This was back in 2016. So as you can see there, if you're familiar, so some of the participants there and some of the staff members of the parliament are already lawyers now. So that is how we try to expose our students to extracurricular learnings in the hope that they will eventually use these tools that they learn in moot court and debate competitions to eventually become good lawyers someday. So this is within only the school, the Wenceslao de la Paz moot court competition. So those who do well are nominated or are tapped to represent eventually the university in competitions outside of the school. Okay. And this is the, so not only do we have a moot court competition, but we have a debate competition. So this is the first Dean Emeritus Cesar T. Tirol Cup. So who is named after the father of our current dean. So Dean Emeritus Cesar Tirol. And again, so I'm sure some of you, especially those who are listening right now or watching right now, who are have debate experience, perhaps you're already familiar with the debates, the type of debate that we had. So we just recently concluded our Tirol Cup last Saturday, and I hope that these students will eventually use the learnings that they had, that they developed during their research and also during the actual competition to become better students, especially and eventually become good and competent lawyers someday. So again, we have debate and moot court competition. So I think you may not be familiar that much with moot court competitions, but for the most part, moot court competitions are what we enter outside of law school. So unlike debate wherein you talk with each other, you have an opposing speaker. In moot court competitions, it's like you are talking to the judge. You are trying to convince the judge of the strength and the validity of your arguments. Okay. So as mentioned earlier, the USL Law moot court team is one of the best moot court teams in this country. So back in so it started back, or we first entered the first competition that we entered was way back in 2015. So one of the mooters was Attorney Dinopol, and if I recall correctly, they reached the quarterfinal round. So eventually we continued and developed, and eventually in 2019, so we also reached the quarterfinals of the Stetson competition, and Mr. El Cid Fernandez was just the third best speaker overall. And not only did we reach the quarterfinals of the Stetson Moot Court competition in 2019, but we also finished third place in the IHL Moot Court competition. So that's International Humanitarian Law. And we also finished first runner-up for Best Memorial for the Defense. Okay. So in 2020, unfortunately, because of the pandemic, we were only able to join one competition, and that was online. But nonetheless, we did well since we finished first runner-up for the IHL moot court competition. So the participants here, as you can see on the screen, there is the Dean and our Vice Dean, Attorney Euro, and the Advisor of the Parliament, Attorney Panes, and Mr. Tondo, Ms. Cortez, Ms. Laizon, and Mr. Tirador are still part of our law school. Okay. And in 2021, so in January 2021, we managed to reach the semifinals of the Stetson Moot Court competition. So we finished, we had the best, third best memorial, and the third best oralist was Miss Alba, who is now in her fourth year. And after that, we managed to win our first championship. So we eventually, after finishing as runner-up in 2020 and previously finishing third in 2019, we finally managed to win our first competition, the IHL competition. So, and we also won the individual accolades. Mainly, best mooter was Mr. Nunez. Second best mooter was Ms. Kawaling. And we also won the overall best memorial and for the prosecution and the defense. So just to give an idea, unlike debate where it's a purely oral advocacy, in moot court competitions, you are not only required to speak, so that's written advocacy, but there is also a part wherein you have to write a memorial. So you write a written pleading to the judges. So in a sense, that is eventually what you have to do when you become lawyers someday. You know, not only have to speak well, but you also have to write well. So that's kind of the exposure that we try to bring to give to our students in making them enter these kinds of competitions. Okay. So the latest competition. So again, we reached the quarterfinals of our Stetson Moot Court competition. And also, since we were able to win the championship for the national rounds of the IHL competition, we were the ones chosen to represent the Philippines in the international humanitarian moot court competition in Hong Kong. So unfortunately, because of the pandemic, our participants were not able to physically go to Hong Kong, but nonetheless, the competition was hosted there virtually. So again, we managed to reach the quarterfinals, and we were able to win third best memorial for the prosecution, and the second best mooter was won by Ms. Kawaling, and the third best mooter was won by Mr. Nunez. So again, we are one of the best moot court teams in the country, and these moot court participants eventually, not only do they succeed in our extracurriculars, but they also succeed in our academics, as proven by some of them are eventually the valedictorians, or they top the comprehensive exam in our law school. Okay. Okay, so not only do we have extracurriculars such as competitions within and outside of the College of Law, but we also have partnerships, linkages, such as with the Philippine Arbitration Center in the Visayas. So the PACV, if I'm not mistaken, has an office in one of the buildings in USA Law. So it's headed by one of our members, Attorney Joner Pueblo. So it is the first and only school-based arbitration center in Southeast Asia. And again, it is a fully functioning arbitration center, and the first arbitration center in the Philippines to adopt fully virtual and online hearings. So PACV was ahead of the curve. Even before the pandemic, they were already able to adjust to online settings. And it is also a practical laboratory that familiarizes the students of the College of Law about the procedures and processes of arbitration cases, and about the value and of arbitration as a tool for the protection of rights. So again, arbitration is kind of an alternative approach instead of litigation. And students are exposed to arbitration, in particular with the subjects that we have, alternative dispute resolution, or ADR. Okay. So this is a picture of the PACV along with some of our lawyers here in our faculty. Okay. Okay, next we have the CALESA program. So this is a tie-up or linkage from the European Union. So the CALESA project is funded by the European Commission as part of the Erasmus program, which supports capacity building for higher education projects. So higher education projects such as the University of San Agustin. So its aim is to improve, develop, and modernize higher education systems and to support cooperation of partner countries such as the Philippines across different regions of the world, so such as Asia. So in particular, this is a tie-up between Spain and the Philippines. So maybe through university cooperation projects. So it focuses its action in the Philippines in the area of law. In particular, because many of the laws that we have, namely penal laws and civil laws, are actually based on Spanish laws. That is why the tie-up, the connection between Spanish law and Philippine law is quite strong even to this day. So a 3-year consortium which commenced in 2020 with the following members. So Universidad de Malaga in Spain, Universidad de Deusto also in Spain, Universidad Nova de Lisboa in Portugal, and University Central College Dublin, Ireland. So the Philippine schools that are included are UP, Ateneo de Manila, Ateneo de Zamboanga, Philippine Judicial Academy, and also the Supreme Court as institutions, and also, of course, the University of San Agustin. So if you are interested in perhaps studying abroad, so that might be in the pipeline in the future. So it's, if you're interested in studying international law and how laws of other countries work, so you might be interested in enrolling here since we have opportunities that are up for grabs. Okay. So this is our dean together with our professors from CALESA, Sir Pepin, Spanish, Pepin de Torres. So he is presenting a talk in the Universidad de Malaga in Spain. So the Philippine legal perspective from the tender age presumption to shared parenting. So this is a persons and family relations issue, which the dean also teaches here in the College of Law. So again, because civil laws in the Philippines, namely the civil code, are mostly based on old Spanish laws. That is why there is still a connection. So part of the aim of CALESA is to try to maintain those connections. So you might be interested in going to Spain someday, then perhaps you might also be interested in enrolling here in San Ag. Okay. And here is also again our dean giving another talk in the Universidad de Deusto in Bilbao, Spain. So if you're familiar with your geography, Malaga is in the south of Spain and Bilbao is in the north of Spain. And Bilbao is considered rather autonomous portion of Spain. So they kind of have a different language, different customs. Okay. And here, so not only was CALESA able to have talks and seminars outside the country, but actually the University of San Agustin itself was able to host a seminar. So the seminar was Seminar on Global History and the Construction on Global Citizenship, which just recently concluded last May 2022. So we had speakers such as Professor Wolf and Professor Calvo from Spain. So they gave talks with regard to globalization and how it influenced, namely, the connection between European countries and third world countries such as ours. Okay. So at this point, we have testimonials from our law students, since you might say that, of course, we're faculty members. We're gonna mention only plaudits from our for our College of Law, but how do actual and current law students perceive the College of Law? Okay. So this one is from one of my students before, and it's also part of the moot court team, part of the IHL team who finished first runner up back in 2020, Ms. Cortez. So she was a communication and media studies major from the University of Philippines in the Visayas. So according to her, so it was not a childhood dream for her to enter law school, but she was surrounded by people who encouraged her. And after much contemplation, then she realized that being a lawyer was something that she needed to be. So it would appear that she took some time after her graduation from her undergraduate course before entering law school. She mentions that 3 years in, since she is now a third-year student, she doesn't still have a straight answer on what made her go to law school, but she is still here, and she is very glad that she did take the step to enter law school. Okay. So why USA College of Law? Okay. So why USA College of Law? Because she had friends from different law schools, and she, upon asking, she realized that USA College of Law suited her the best. So, and how is she coping so far? So according to her, she is a full-time student, but nonetheless, law school still takes up a lot of time. So, but still, USA College of Law is nonetheless very accommodating to all types of students because the classes are in the evening. So mostly during the weekdays, classes start at 5:30 and end at 8:30. On Saturdays, and usually we start at 8 a.m. and end at around 4 p.m. So we try to accommodate especially working students. Okay. Okay. Next is Miss Bellosilio. So Miss Bellosilio, if you're familiar, if you eventually enter law school and you buy books from Rex Bookstore, you might encounter Miss Bellosilio there. So, okay. She, according to her, she was rather, well, for the lack of a better term, advanced in age when she decided to enter law school, but nonetheless, she uh, continued to fulfill her dream because, and then she realized that she wasn't joking anymore. Okay, so she chose USA Law because she wanted to be part of a prestigious law school. So she considers the dean, the law, the faculty, the staff to be her inspirations in molding, and also her guide to mold her into becoming a lawyer someday. So, okay, how is she coping so far? Law school is a jealous mistress, so it's exciting. So this is if you want to enter law school, then you might teach the quote unquote exciting part. So excitement, struggles, triggers, and which you'll never experience until you are in law school. But her thinking is that at least, again, she is not alone, and because as much as here at the College of Law, we emphasize that you are not an island, we are a community. We help each other in order for you to achieve your dreams. Okay. And my last testimonial before I turn over the floor again to Attorney Dinopol. So again, one of my students before in environmental law, Miss Ohao. So Miss Ohao is a working student from the government's principal law agency. So she was inspired by her colleagues to pursue her childhood dream of becoming a lawyer. So because she wanted to possess functional legal knowledge with the objective of contributing more to her current organization. Okay, so like Miss Belosilios, did not proceed immediately after graduating from her undergrad course, but rather she took some time. So well, age is not really an issue in our opinion as professors, as long as you put in the work and you try your best. Okay, she chose San Agustin because her core values should be in place and guarded by the university. Again, we mentioned earlier virtus and et scientia. So those are the core values that we emphasize. And she believes in Augustinian values and what they stand for. So how is she coping so far? So she is apparently a solo parent and a working student. So she had to balance it, and it can be extremely frustrating. And she admits that there is a temptation to drop out of her classes, but so eventually, she has to figure out that she needs to redirect her energy so that she can regain her composure, align her priorities, and remember her purpose. And that purpose is obviously to become an Augustinian lawyer someday. So, okay, I'll give the floor back to Attorney Dinopol.
So thank you very much, Attorney Escanlar. So just to continue with the few and the last testimonials that we have, I think you've heard a lot already from Attorney Escanlar, and we just want to highlight, of course, that your choice to enter law school, especially in the University of San Agustin, we are very much accommodating, especially to those who are not full-time students, because we understand that some, if not most, of our students are already working. So example of that would be Stefano Lim here, who is a graduate of AB Political Science from the Ateneo de Manila University. According to him, it's either being a priest or being a lawyer. So he said, because he did not want to become a priest, he said, and he also is interested in becoming a lawyer, he entered the College of Law in the University of San Agustin. According to him, he graduated when he entered the college, it was at the start of the pandemic. But regardless of that, of course, he was able to also cope. According to him, he appreciated the values of the college that the college has instilled in us, and he did not regret his decision to stay in San Agustin. And of course, being a working student, he also admits that he has to work. He has to work at the same time study. So with that, he feels also a sense of accomplishment that he's able to do both. Again, we reiterate, we are also very much accommodating to those who are working. So next one, I think we also have here another working student, if I'm not mistaken. He is also my student before, and probably some of you here who are a graduate of the University of the Philippines, Visayas, would find him familiar. He has always aspired to be in public service, according to Mr. Factuar, and he was influenced by his late father to be in public service. So he said that the best thing to do that would be to enter law school and become a lawyer. So when he contemplated to pursue law, he ensured that he would enroll in a university that is a top performing university. So because we ranked 9th in the 2018 bar examinations, he thought that if he entered law school and he enrolled in the University of San Agustin, he will have a higher chance in passing the bar. So like I have said a while ago, if you've seen the statistics, we have a high passing percentage here in San Agustin. So as a working student and a father, he said that he values his time and he is able to learn to manage it well. So it's all about time management, according to him. Okay, next. Okay. Right, so we also have here a BS accountancy graduate. He's also a working student, no? And he's also a father. According to him, age is no longer a concern or an insecurity for him because he entered law school a bit late. So for some of you who are not fresh graduates or who have been working for quite some time, it's not well, it's not the end for you. You can still enter law school because age doesn't matter if you would want to become lawyers like Mr. Gutierrez here. According to him, he wanted to ensure that law school will give him the chance to be a best version of himself. And he also wanted to ensure that his journey here in the College of Law will be worthwhile. Why did he choose the University of San Agustin College of Law? Because of virtue and science, a delicate symmetry of two badly needed traits that we sorely lack in contemporary society, given the state of our nation. So, of course, there is that public service aspect. It is the motto of the USA College of Law, and for many decades, it has motivated him to be a member of the profession also from the University of San Agustin. And according to him, he is coping by ensuring that he is surrounded by his support system. So next. So probably if some of you are thinking of the same things, no? Storyline, you might be very much inspired. So are you now interested to become Augustinian lawyers? So that would be the question that we will be asking. Probably some of you are shy to answer that, or you're probably thinking there in your seat while listening to us. But let this be the question. Are you interested to become Augustinian lawyers? So if you are, you can have the online admission for application for the Juris Doctor program for the first semester is already open. And the University Law School admission test is waived for 2022 to 2023. If later on you have certain concerns and you have clarifications about the admission process, we are still here and the dean is still here to answer some of these queries. So just next slide, just to finish the entire presentation before I give you to Ms. Haya. So this is the procedure for the procedure and application for your online submission. So we also have a link that is provided online, which you can click. And of course, you can fill in the needed information and some of the requirements for incoming applicants. So of course, your transcript, certificate of honorable dismissal from the school that you last attended, diploma, certificate of graduation or special order, PSA certificate of live birth, your good moral certificate, 2x2 pictures, and a certain amount for admission fee. And of course, the applicant interviews, which will be scheduled later on. This is traditionally done by our dean, so it will be a face-to-face interview appointment with him. And of course, if admitted after the interview, you can proceed to the next process of enrollment and pay the down payment. So the rest of that will be discussed with you once you undergo the said process. So with that, I think we have question and answers. We can answer some of your queries according to Ms. Haya. So thank you very much. We hope that we will see you very soon in the University of San Agustin College of Law.